is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
This is the Players Lounge, broadcasting live from Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star. Now your hosts, Barry Church, Danny McCray, and Newy Scruggs.
Here we go. Friday.
Yes, sir.
Time.
Yes, sir. Hold on, let me get right.
Barry Church got a disinfectant.
Yeah, let me get right, man.
Don't put no Rudy Gobert in there, man.
My goodness gracious. Okay. We think the studio is disinfected.
Let's
we're good.
hope so.
We think we're good. We're good.
Ain't no tours come back here, right?
I just hand sanitizer myself up there, you know.
Man. All right.
Okay, so we got hand sanitizer here at the Star. All right, he's Barry Church.
Yes, sir.
Danny McCray, Newy Scruggs. Players Lounge. And look, we'll get into some Cowboys football, but we must talk about what is dominating not just events here in North Texas in the United States, but across the world.
Yeah.
The coronavirus. And one of the things that shocked me, okay, so I'm sitting at dinner, in my dinner break between having to go back to do TV, and then I see up there that Rudy Gobert has tested for coronavirus. And then, of course, as you go to handy Twitter, because Twitter forgets nothing, they show video of Rudy Gobert earlier in the week touching microphones, basically laughing about the contact rules. Like, hey, and now later on we see Donovan Mitchell also test for coronavirus. And Adrian Wojnarowski of ESPN tweets out that Rudy Gobert has an issue in the locker room because of his carelessness and the way he was playing around. So I called up to Utah. You know, you start calling people you know. And I said, hey, so Rudy gave it to Donovan? And then this person said, well, wait a minute. You don't know who had it first. Said you could have been carrying it and not showing any signs. So they said to blame Rudy right out of the gate is wrong. I was like, well, I'm no doctor and I don't know. I said, but what do we know? Rudy wasn't exactly acting responsibly with this.
You don't even have to blame Rudy for passing it on. You just blame him for negligence and ignorance, right?
Stupidity.
He get blamed for being dumb.
Yep.
And you know, in some cases, like I said, you mess with this. Take me back to when Burfict was trying to hurt people on the football field, and I was like, let me tell you something. If that was people I knew, he would have got them paws put on him.
This is the same. Cincinnati and Oakland. Yeah.
This is the same. Rudy Gobert is the perfect of the NBA just in this moment. It's like, bro, listen, however you feel about the coronavirus is your feeling.
Keep it to yourself.
Keep it to yourself. There's other people out there that feel the opposite of you that you feel. So don't put them in harm's way because you feel like being playful. And I don't want to hear that, man, I didn't know and learn from my mistake. Nah, black eye.
Now they all got it. Go ahead.
No, I'm saying we was talking about that with Newy. Like it's him, and then now whoever went back home with their families,
with the kids,
and all that stuff. And so now, not just your teammates are have an issue, or the media. It's their families as well.
Exactly. I mean, he got to be one of the dumbest things I've ever seen in my life. I mean, the guy's going around there playing about a virus that he knows nothing about. He just heard from somebody, oh, it's not that dangerous. All right, let me go spread and touch it. Even if you don't have a disease, what people go out there and just randomly touch people and touch their things and all that type of stuff? I mean, like you said, like there's people on that team could have kids at home, and he's spreading it to them, and now they're spreading it to their families and kids, and maybe they spread it to their grandparents. And we know that the coronavirus is affecting the older population. So I mean, you just don't do anything like that. That was just a dumb mistake, just a stupidity. And if I'm one of those teammates and I ended up, we got to have some words, man. Because you ain't just gonna spread that. I got kids at the house. We gonna have some words.
Well, that is what Woj ended up talking about on a Sports Center hit with Scott Van Pelt, where he said he said there's an issue in that locker room right now.
Big time.
With what happened to Rudy Gobert. And I think about your situation. Your wife's expecting. And think about you, Barry. Your wife just had a baby days ago.
Congratulations to Barry Church.
Congratulations. A beautiful daughter.
Second time father.
I'm just out here, producing. I'm producing. I'm done. No, I'll tell you that much. But I'm
all right.
Okay, let me hip you out on that I'm done thing. Did you watch Tubes Get Tied?
Nah,
okay, well, then you're not done. Okay, all right, take it from a veteran. All right. When number 3, the going out of business baby happens, I watch. Dr. Swinnerman, go ahead and my man.
At this rate, we likely to be in the house for the next for the foreseeable future. So I don't want to hear that I'm done.
Look, I got to be out here sweating this stuff.
Not much to do, but ain't no sports on.
You right.
No, he's out of commission for now.
Yeah, for now. Yeah. I said foreseeable future. We have no idea where this is going.
Yes. All right. So this is what Rudy Gobert put out on social media. Mm-hmm. Quote, I want to thank everyone for the outpouring of concern and support over the last 24 hours. I have gone through so many emotions since learning of my diagnosis, mostly fear, anxiety, and embarrassment. And the first and most important thing is I would like to publicly apologize to the people that I may have endangered. At that time, I had no idea I was even infected. I was careless. And make no excuse. I hope my story serves as a warning and causes everyone to take this seriously. I will do whatever I can to support using my experience as a way to educate others and prevent the spread of this virus. I am under great care and will fully recover. Thank you again for your support. I encourage everyone to take all the steps to stay safe and healthy. Love. So that's Rudy Gobert.
I ain't gonna lie to you, man. This is what I hate. You know, somebody apologize to people and they be like, I want to apologize if I hurt your feelings. Listen, you obviously apologizing because you did something you shouldn't have been doing.
Something stupid.
That you may have it. Nah, you endangered everybody in there. Mm-hmm. Ain't no may. Everybody that you came in contact with, you apologize to all the media, all your teammates, everybody that you was in there being careless with. Hey, man, I apologize to y'all. Mm-hmm. You didn't may. It wasn't no may. You put them in danger.
You did.
What are you talking about?
He done got the NBA postponed.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
As soon as that view came out and everybody was like, I think I seen a story. They was like Chris Paul went over and they was asking like, what's wrong with Rudy? And everybody on the team was like, hey man, y'all get away.
Get back.
He's sick.
Get back.
Then right after that, I saw that, and then it was NBA postponed.
And then of course, good old Twitter. They show a recent game. Then Rudy shoots a free throw, misses it, and old boy from Toronto ends up getting the ball, kisses the ball. Yeah. So
all in 1 minute.
Everyone who has played Utah recently, you've got to go get tested. So when the NBA shut it down, my first thought was, okay, that's real smart because you don't know who else may have it. Yeah. And when we start talking about lawsuits and everything, you got to go ahead and get everybody in your league tested, your players, your staff, your coaches. I mean, everyone. You got to sit up here and make sure your league is safe because we already saw, because that was the Mavericks game, when they told, all right, we're going to shut down the high five line. You still have fans there, so they were trying to keep fans and distance away. So this is a smart thing by, I think, all leagues until you find out more. You don't know.
You just don't know.
So since you don't know and you can't assure anyone, and I go back to your situation, your wife just had a baby. Your wife's expecting. Taking precautions is the right thing to do. NASCAR, by the way, was going to race this weekend, say no fans. Well, they just came out today, and NASCAR said, nope, nothing's going to go down in Atlanta. They're going to postpone that. The Masters comes out, postpones their tournament. We saw the NCAA tournament shut down men's and women's teams. And as a Carolina fan, because my Tar Heels lost 19 games this year.
They're going to sweep this one under the rug.
I said everybody, you can't.
Roy back there like this.
You can't say Carolina didn't make a tournament because ain't nobody play, right? So if nobody play, you can't say
everybody outside of Carolina knows that y'all lost 19 games.
There's so many bigger issues right now. You're not even paying attention to that right now.
You know what they said? There is one national champion of this year. You know who it is? The LSU Tigers, baby. The LSU Tigers will be the only national champions of the 2020 college season of sports. Go Tigers! Yeah, man, we represent.
Here we go,
and we did it. We did a historical fashion. So thank you.
This is true. I feel bad for like the Daytons though. The Daytons of the world. I mean, once in a lifetime. They were number 1 seed going into. They might never get back to this.
So should they grant another season of eligibility to seniors?
Well, of course.
Yeah, if they want to stay.
Yeah, if you want to stay, I think that you should have that option to get another year because this is something that's unprecedented. And these kids are in a lot of cases, losing out on the biggest moments of their entire life. Some of them, the last moment that they will even be able to play the sport that they love. So, yeah, give them another shot.
Yeah, because it's tough because you can't just say, let's postpone it and then when it all clears up, we'll run the tourney because they haven't picked the teams to go in the tourney yet.
Well, it's canceled.
Yeah, so it's canceled.
Because,
they can't even do that. Yeah.
The other portion of that and how big this tournament is, you got to secure buildings.
That's
you
true.
got to secure dates and hotels and all that stuff. That's gone. That's one. Because somebody's like, why don't you just postpone? It's like, you don't understand
There's travel,
how tough that is, the logistics to just get it. These tournament sites and these hotels and things that people book, this stuff and support staff, this stuff's booked years in advance.
Yeah.
Over at SMU, they had they were going to have the women's regional final over there. So they've been working on that, planning that for years. And so you just can't say, oh, hey, in about 60 days, we're going to go ahead and have this here. No, that's a whole, because what happens to other things that are already booked?
That's already in there.
The Mercedes,
weddings and stuff.
Well, the Mercedes-Benz Dome in Atlanta. I mean, you know from what we have right here with what happens with Jerry World. You're booking events and you've got stuff there all the time.
Well, even the Star, if you walk in there now, they breaking down it was halfway put up because we had the USA conference tournament that was supposed to be happening. And I walk in there today, and the court was half put up, and then you start seeing the tractors carrying that stuff back out. And it's hard to book a time here at the Star, so I can imagine how difficult it is to do AT&T Stadium or
talk about
the
years.
Falcons.
I mean, these dates are booked years in advance, and so that becomes a true issue when people just say, hey, why are you canceling something here? Postponing is not easy. So even for the Masters tournament, okay, they're going to say, hey, we're going to postpone it. So when do you do it? And trying to find what works so players can all get it. I mean,
that's true.
It's all not as easy as everyone likes to think. I heard somebody today talking about the NFL draft, which is supposed to be in Las Vegas in April. And somebody said, well, if you cancel it, you should just give it to Las Vegas next year. And when I heard it,
what about the next city gonna be like, hold up,
like that's like doing that for the Super Bowl. Then we go, let's give it back to Miami for the past season if something would have happened. No, because whoever's there waiting, they waiting for that check.
Like, nah, we paid
Cleveland is
y'all in
supposed to
advance.
host it in 21, so you're supposed to now say.
Well, we can give it back to Miami.
So you're supposed to go to Cleveland. Hey, Cleveland, what happened was, but here's the thing there too. So the folks in Cleveland already know they're going to have it, so they're already making their plans. What will most likely happen? Let's just say Las Vegas is canceled. I go back to what happened to the NBA All-Star game with Charlotte when they ended up taking that away because of that bathroom bill. They took it from Charlotte, and they said, get your laws straight, and then we can come back to you. So they ended up they rescinded the law, so they got rid of the bathroom bill, and then a couple years down the road, when they had an open spot, Adam Silver and the NBA gave it back to him. So if Las Vegas is canceled this year, it's not like you just say, well, we're just going to roll it into next year. Because once again, you're talking about having to book facilities and hotels. This is a big operation. I mean, you saw what went down here over at Jerry World. I mean, that's a big old operation. You just can't say, we're just going to move it to next year. No.
And Vegas is always packed. So it ain't like you can just move this guy out the way.
Well, they have a weekend for everything, right?
Everything,
so it'll be Memorial Day the next weekend. Then July 4th weekend. And then, it's always something. Basketball will be there.
And everybody got money, so you ain't just pushing them out the way.
So the NBA will be resumed, and all of a sudden you got the playoffs, and so they got a lot to compete with to just talk about postponing.
And so when you also talk about trying to move things, let's say your date runs up to somebody who already has it. So, okay, are you willing now to buy out that contract of the particular?
Depending on which contract that is.
Right, but those are things that go into effect here.
That's
so
true.
A lot of people just think that, hey, you can just push something down the road, postpone it. In the world of business and travel and bookings and conventions, it's interesting.
Well, let's also not to forget to touch on that this is under the assumption that everything will be fine in that time.
That's true.
We
still learning everything about
under that assumption, right? So you can say, we gonna bump this back a month. Who's to say
in a month
we won't still be going through something in a month? You can put these dates all you want to, but until it's fixed,
like they said,
it's fixed.
Everybody got a plan until you get punched in the mouth.
What?
Yes.
What?
Players Lounge, Barry Church, Danny McCray. I'm Newy Scruggs. One of the things that I had a concern about, and we're still going to figure out what the NFL is going to do. What about visits?
Oh, yeah, OTAs.
I've seen a lot of those have been canceled, right?
I don't know. I
seen a lot of teams put out notices yesterday, and they got all their scouts and all their staff to come back home off the road.
Even pro days and stuff?
And I seen some of them canceled official visits for teams for the draft.
And that's gonna hurt. That's gonna hurt the cats that are like, 5th round, 6th round, like, because they use the pro day as like a place. What if you weren't invited to the combine?
I didn't go to the combine, so pro day for me was
that's huge.
Well, that was tremendous. Like that was my opportunity to show
what you
them.
got.
And without it, I would have never. I wouldn't be here.
I mean, look, Joe D found you. That's how you get found.
I sent a text over to Gary Patterson, the head coach of TCU football, and I just said to him, "What about your pro day?" Mm-hmm. So now. Is it your pro day? You do a Zoom where everybody can just kind of look in here. I mean, what are you doing? Because I would say this: if I'm a university, if I'm an agent, I just don't want to. I got to figure out. I've got to put something on film for my clients. Especially for the ones who said, look, I'm not going to run at the combine, or the ones who ran at the combine and maybe they got a faster track.
So they want to redo it. That's
right. I mean, they talked about on the draft show here on DallasCowboys.com about Ohio State and how Ohio State's got a faster track than the combine. So these pro days, as you talked about, they matter. They matter. So we've got a lot of, as I said to somebody, it's fluid. There's a lot of fluidity to this. There's a lot.
So listen. So you brought up Joe D finding me. So just to talk a little bit more about those guys who didn't go to the combine, it's guys. So we talk about Zoom and getting your film and your times to coaches and all that. Nobody was looking at me when I went there. They were going to watch the other guys who were going in the first and second and third round. Right. So me sending my film to those guys, it would have just went by the wayside.
Yeah, that's true.
I was able to be seen just because it was all the teams coming to watch the other guys who had the talent there. So this is really going to affect some guys big time.
Hey, it ain't going to kill like the bona fide, like the Brady's of the world. Or Burrows, I'm sorry. It ain't going to kill those guys. But the 6th rounders, the undrafted guys like myself, I mean, pro day is huge, man. Pro day is huge.
They won't see. I'm sure a lot of people came to your pro day specifically to see you. And there was some other guys who were like, I'm glad I played with Barry Church.
Matter of fact, what was it? The running back for the Jets. He went to Jacksonville for a little bit. Big dude, number 33. What was he? Chris Ivory, I think.
Chris Ivory. Did he have the dreads?
He had the dreads.
Yes, Chris
so he came to Toledo's pro day, and because he was like, man, there's going to be a lot of scouts there. Right. So and he ended up getting picked up, I think, in like the 6th round just off of that pro day.
If it was a Zoom or they had to send him or something, they would have been like, where's Church?
Let's check through this. Yeah, let's check. That's how it is.
Let me find Church.
But this is what the times call for, so we shall see. All right, who knows what happens next week in terms of free agency? The NFL saying everything's as usual, but we don't know. And by the way, there's this CBA vote, and it's going to be interesting as one NFL player right now is saying, hey, everybody, shut it down. We'll tell you exactly who that NFL player is next, right here on the Players Lounge.
I'm Jay Novacek, former tight end for the Dallas Cowboys. Back in the day, I was the guy who always got the tough yards, and that's why I run with John Deere today. In fact, I have a John Deere 3025E tractor that can handle any yard work I need to do, even the tough yards way out back. So if you have 1 acre or 1,000, John Deere has the equipment that's just right for you. Visit a John Deere dealer today and run with us. We are the official tractor provider of your Dallas Cowboys.
Essilor is a proud sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys, helping fans see more and do more with our best vision solutions. Our lens technologies reveal a world more beautiful than you can imagine. For a limited time, get the Essilor Next Gen offer. When you buy the latest generation of Transitions lenses with select Essilor lenses, you can choose a second pair of clear lenses for free with qualifying frame purchases. Restrictions apply. Find a participating eye care professional by visiting EssilorUSA.com. Essilor. See more, do more.
Want to use what the pros use? How about the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black? Right now, you can get the Jack Black Starter, a curated collection of Cowboys locker room favorites for just $10 with free shipping. The starter includes 4 Jack Black skincare favorites, plus a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Go to getjackblack.com/Cowboys and use the code word TEAMJB. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys. The Jack Black Starter, $10, free shipping.
Your new apartment's big. Such a great deal.
It's okay.
Just okay? What's not to...
It's right above the subway!
Well, I bet you don't even notice it after the...
That's my neighbor, Angus.
A deal that's just okay is not okay. Get a great deal with America's Best Network. Come into an AT&T store to find out how to get one of our popular smartphones for $0 down. Based on GWS 1 score, September 2019.
Back to the Players Lounge.
Come here, got you again.
We are here at the Star.
Shout out to Mr. Smith.
Newy Scruggs, Barry Church,
Yes,
the Toledo
sir.
Rocket.
Yes, sir.
Danny McCray from the Louisiana school.
Somewhere down there.
Yeah, you're right, because it's only one of us. It's cool. They gonna hate. Only national champion of 2020, baby. Write it in the books. When you
It
do the
is in
30,
the books.
when you watch the 30 for 30 in a couple of years, it's gonna say that there was one national champion and they represented all sports and all schools for 2020. It's
30
gonna be
for 30, the year of one.
Go Tigers. It's gonna be just purple and gold. The whole
year
opening
of
credit.
Representing my UNC Pembroke Braves.
There we go. Pembroke in the house.
So our kids were on the bus going to the NCAA tournament, D2 NCAA tournament. Turn it around. Had to turn it around. Come on back, man. Yeah, man.
You see, they close in a lot of states. Ohio, I know for sure, they close all the schools, even like for 3 weeks. Elementary,
they
everything.
extended is it DISD right now for another week?
Certain schools here, they extended another week. My kids, I don't know yet. I was talking to my wife today. I was, might be part 2 coming up.
I think they're gonna be. Yeah, I think they're gonna be a part 2. Because you can have half of them going and then the other half not going.
It's an independent school district, so you do whatever you want.
But the blowback from an outbreak at a school.
Oh yeah, you definitely getting rock bottom.
Oh, you the one district who decided, nah, we good players.
Y'all that greedy, huh?
We bought all the lights off.
So that means I got to spend another week playing Benson.
This is true.
Yesterday I had to make pancakes. Well, I want blueberries in my pancakes. I don't want blue. Okay, fine. I'll make 2 sets of pancakes. Then wash the dishes, doing the trash.
No, it's helping you spend more quality time at times of the day when you wouldn't usually be able to hang out with the little ones, man. You got to embrace it.
Spoken from somebody with no kids.
Full. So,
that's what you coming up.
I'm on the way.
Then you go right here.
I do appreciate school not yet. My oldest, all 3 of them sleeping in. So I left the house at about 9:40 to come over here, and everybody was sleeping.
He tiptoed out that. Daddy, pancakes.
Oh, yeah.
Pancakes.
They heard the door slamming. He burned rubber.
I did no breakfast today. I had no breakfast today.
Where the pancakes at? I don't smell cooking.
He got a text with his phone was going right now.
Mama's handling that.
You got that on deck.
I'm good on Fridays. I know on Friday I got to go to the podcast. So I'm good. Man. I'm good on that end. But another week of spring break, man.
This dude is melting over here, bro. Look at this.
Y'all get me laughing. I start sweating and stuff.
Why you got on the sweatshirt?
Got a sweat because it's Gucci.
Nah, that's not what happened.
You know you come in here.
I saw the rain clouds, and I was like, it might be a little chilly out, so I'm gonna throw this hoodie on.
Bro, you got on your phone. All you got to do.
What I meant to do was throw in a t-shirt. All I got is a beater on, so I can't take it off.
So now you just go melt it.
I can't. I'm out here melting. After the break, I might come back in here
through the hat. Through the hat. You usually can't see water through the hat.
But then it's going to just go like this.
Knew he got that anti-perspiration.
I know. He ain't even sent me the connect yet. It's hogging. All ball brothers supposed to look out for each other.
I got it if you need it.
I'll straight now. It's just going to be good coming down now.
No, I got it in my backpack, so if you need it, because I travel with it for all my live shots, so it's right there. I got 2 of them. I got 2 anti-shines.
I just got to stop laughing for a second. That's it. I just got to stop laughing.
We're not going to laugh at this. It was the
CBA.
There it is.
Let's talk about the collective bargaining agreement. So the NFL owners have approved a 10-year deal that they say we're good with. So they've sent it to the NFL players, their union, and they're supposed to vote. It has been very interesting because what we thought at one point in time, like, oh, it'll pass, that now it may not. Eric Reed of the Carolina Panthers is not happy. He believes that the NFL is going to take it to disabled players in this new deal. He said, quote, this proposal reduces the previously awarded benefits. It goes back and takes from disabled retirees. It breaks promises already made, promises made to the most vulnerable players. This is a clear moral issue. We need moral courage right now. Here's what's interesting about what Eric Reed said. I had a veteran NFL player call me yesterday and go through the whole thing. And I don't know if he says page 391 or 395, but he gets into it. And he basically said, look, they are about to really hurt some older players if they pass the deal. He said, guys aren't reading this. And so that's what he told me. And so he says that, and then I hear this from Eric Reed. So very interesting. But at the end of the day, He said, how many guys are going to get to 300 pages? He said, if it's 40 pages, he said, if it's 40 pages, guys don't read it.
Well, let me tell you something. If you want to know anything about the CBA, just go through his timeline. He actually posted pages of, I think he broke it down to about 6 pages of pros and cons of why it's good and why it's bad. So you don't even have to read all 400 pages. You can get some pretty strong bullet points for why he feels the way that he feels without having to go through 400 pages. And if you do, you might feel differently about
So are they
this.
saying that the new CBA is catered towards players that are in the league right now?
It's catered toward revenue and paying people more, and that's what is going to get people to say, yeah.
And then when they leave, basically...
Yeah, they're not thinking about that.
Yeah, they
ain't
thinking about that.
They ain't thinking about that.
But they got to. Eventually, they're going to be out.
More from Eric Reed. Because imagine if all the players would have stood by Colin Kaepernick after he wasn't signed and showed the owners that we are together. The CBA negotiation would be a cakewalk. The owners know the players won't stand together on anything.
I agree with him on that, though. On the fact that the players not sticking together.
That happened last time.
Yeah, so I agree with him on that one. I don't know about that Colin Kaepernick thing, but everything else, though, for sure.
Well, I think he said that's the one chance that they had to stand.
Oh, yeah, to stand together. Okay, I got you.
Here's one of the things that if I were a player, I would simply ask, why do you want to do a 10-year deal? In an age where the TV contracts aren't going to be a 10-year deal.
That's true.
Why would you do anything that's a decade long in today's world where technology and things change within 2 and 3 years? I mean, just think about your phone. How many times you have to update your phone now because they come up with new things
every September?
Yeah, so get you an iPhone 30.
Right. So I mean, the world in 10 years is just going to change a whole lot.
Yeah.
I mean, think about what was done in 2010, the world in 2010, and now the world in 2020.
That's true. We were in Valley Ranch. This is crazy.
Okay. Right. What was it? 1 year of the first year of Jerry World, and now it's a year 10. I mean, just think about it. The Rangers are about to open up a new ballpark.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Yeah.
But next month when they start. So I mean, 10 years. That's a long time. 10 years ago, the Mavericks won the NBA championship. It was 10 years ago.
Dirk was in top 5 player in the league.
Yeah. Yeah,
crazy.
10 years ago.
10 years ago, I ran a 4.4.
You know
I was fast then.
I mean, just really think about where were you 10 years ago?
That's true.
You didn't have kids 10 years ago.
Surgery.
So
7 surgeries later.
So that to me, just my mind automatically said, why would you enter a 10-year deal?
Well, you know who's running the union?
DeMaurice Smith. So
it's the old way of, like, it's always been the 10 years. So
he's been getting shellacked for decades now. I don't know why we still. That's another story though.
So anyway, it's going to be interesting to see if this thing passes. I think about all the time of a guy like Kyler Murray, who is an exciting quarterback for the Arizona Cardinals. He was a first-round draft pick of the Oakland A's and signed a deal with the A's.
Yeah.
Then he decided, you know what, I want to play football. So ends up going to the combine, becomes a first-round draft pick, has to give all the money back to baseball. And you start talking about retirement. How about this? And I don't know if you guys knew this or not, but if you play 10 years in Major League Baseball, when you retire, you get $300,000 every year.
For the rest of your life.
Yeah. That's how strong that union is.
And we over here.
How much you got? You got severance.
Scraping for pennies. We over here scraping for. Man, I'll tell you what. Man.
That's so I should be something like. Once you're vested, once you get that
once
5,
you're vested, you should at least healthcare. You know, and that's.
I mean, just imagine if you played 10 years.
How we get
$300,000 a year?
I just don't understand how we let this slide.
Well, you understand. Eric Reed just told you.
But when is the next when's the next vote for the head of the union? Like
DeMaurice Smith?
Yeah, he's penciled in always.
Does it matter? If you agree to a 10-year deal, okay. I mean, who are you going to hire? It's going to be on the job for 10 years.
That's true.
I mean, DeMaurice Smith has been there, but I mean, just at the end of the day, and you can, and this is just my opinion. You can hire whoever you want to, but until the players decide there's going to be a sacrifice made, then you're not going to get what you want.
Absolutely.
And that is that's in anything, not just, I'm talking about football, it's really anything. Until you're ready to sacrifice something. If you don't want to give any blood, you want to give something, you never get anything.
You saw what happened when they went on strike. The players crossed the line first, right? They went back, right?
With the replacements?
Yeah, they went back. So, yeah, I mean.
If you're the product, until you miss games, then things don't happen. I mean, it's just like when you see other unions in different career fields when they go on strike. When you're not producing something that's wanted, then all of a sudden things can change
start
for you.
changing your way.
Okay, what about the Montgomery Bus boycotts that with Rosa Parks and Martin Luther King? Until people stop going on, black people in Montgomery, all of a sudden stop going on the bus and they weren't making any money, then things change. You have to be willing to give up something in anything it is that you truly want. So that's been a big thing about, and I've always looked at NFL players and said, look, you've not been willing to do what baseball players have done, which is, okay, we'll withhold services.
That's true.
And guess what? These owners know it.
Oh, yeah, they know it for sure.
These owners know it.
That's why they printed out 400 pages and said, read this, sign it. We good.
We good.
So
they was ready too. Like, I think we got some yeses.
What? We get to hit the herbs a little more? Oh, we're not going to get to we're here. Let's sign in.
You say 100K? You say 100?
Oh, sign up.
All right.
Yeah. It look good. Rough. It look good.
So that's our CBA talk. Let's dive into the issue the Cowboys have right now. This franchise deadline's been moved. It's coming up now. Rain Dakota Prescott, unsigned. Amari Cooper, unsigned. Who gets signed first? And also, I'll tell you, I want to read a couple Twitter things that people have said to me about Dak's contract.
I read,
I'll dive into that.
Let's dive into
that. Dive into my Twitter timeline next, right here on the Players Lounge.
Since 1865, Stetson hats are American-made with pride right here in Texas. And Stetson is proud to be on the field with America's team. Want to show your Texas and team pride too? You can. By purchasing your own Stetson, you can look just like how the flag guys do on field at every home game. Stetson hats, the official crown of all self-respecting Cowboys and your favorite football team. Get yours today in the Stadium Pro Shop or at Stetson.com.
Your new apartment's big. Such a great deal.
It's okay.
Just okay? What's not to...
It's right above the subway!
Well, I bet you don't even notice it after the...
That's my neighbor, Angus.
A deal that's just okay is not okay. Get a great deal with America's Best Network. Come into an AT&T store to find out how to get one of our popular smartphones for $0 down. Based on GWS 1 score, September 2019.
Essilor is a proud sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys, helping fans see more and do more with our best vision solutions. Our lens technologies reveal a world more beautiful than you can imagine. For a limited time, get the Essilor Next Gen offer. When you buy the latest generation of Transitions lenses with select Essilor lenses, you can choose a second pair of clear lenses for free with qualifying frame purchases. Restrictions apply. Find a participating eye care professional by visiting EssilorUSA.com. Essilor. See more, do more.
So, you're shopping, and that's when you see it. Aisle 23. Dr. Pepper stacked from top to bottom as far as the eye can see. The phrase too good to be true comes to mind, yet there it is. A rich, delicious Dr. Pepper paradise. Wait, did that can of Dr. Pepper just open itself for you? They all are. As if to say, so nice to treat you. And even though it feels weird to talk to a can, you pick one up and say, it's so nice to be treated. Dr. Pepper, so nice to treat you.
Back to the Players Lounge.
Danny_McCray.
All right, tell everybody the social media handles here, fellas. Barry Church?
Both Instagram and Twitter is Barry Church 42.
Danny McCray?
Twitter for me is Danny DMac44. Instagram is Danny_McCray40.
Hit me up on Twitter at Newy Scruggs. It's NEWYSCRUGGS. It's NEWYSCRUGGS. Facebook page, it is Newy Scruggs Sports. All right. Cowboys want Amari Cooper, the wide receiver, back. They want Dak Prescott, the quarterback, back. If the CBA passes, that means the Cowboys can't tag both guys, which means they only have one franchise tag, which means if they don't get a deal done with one of them, somebody's going to hit the free agent market. And we all know when you have prime players who hit the free agent market, there's going to be somebody out there willing to write a big, fat check.
Biggin.
Okay? It's just how free agency works. And you're going to sit up here and say, oh, they paid that guy that much? You're going to say, yeah, they paid that guy that much because they had that money and they were desperate. And so, hey, that's how free agency works.
Yep.
There are some people out here who have issues with Dak Prescott. And Freddie D entered my Twitter timeline, and I'm just sitting here.
Speaking of timelines, tell me, was this before or after the $40 million a year came out, where it was like 4 year, $160 million?
Freddie was upset about the $33 million.
Okay.
He's saying that's too low?
He says too much. Dak should jump at it. But yeah, my bad.
Okay.
Yeah. So Freddie here is saying that Dak is a 8-8, consistently going 8-8 for the Cowboys.
He didn't go to 2 divisions. Anyways,
Right.
Freddie D. What's going on, Freddie D?
He talking about Jason Gary. He wasn't talking about.
He said, bro, Jimmy G has already had more playoff victories already and played in Super Bowls. And Cousins has the Vikings as a threat in the AFC. We're lucky to go 8-8. I hit him back. I said, well, Jimmy G became the highest paid quarterback in the NFL off 7 football games. And I said, miss me with the Dak hasn't done crap. I said, Cousins got $84 million. Didn't have the resume of success that Dak has had. Freddie is really talking about how, you can't give $120 million to Dak Prescott. He says that would be foolish. And I'm like, well, Cousins doesn't play in the AFC. Let him know that.
Yeah, I'm about to say from the jump, he ain't even in the AFC.
Jimmy G completed 11 passes versus Minnesota in the 49ers playoff win and just 6 passes in the NFC title game, and he was not the reason that San Francisco got to the Super Bowl and lost.
He was one of the reasons. Yeah, he's one of the reasons why they lost.
For sure.
And he said, and the Cowboys got 8 wins they were against teams with losing records. Let's give Dak $120 million. Seriously. Says hashtag come on, man. And I hit him back and I said, Dak is 40-24 in the regular season since 2016 only. Tom Brady has more wins, 47. Said Dallas has had one 8-8 season. You said the word consistent and it only happened once. I said, Freddie, your hot takes need some work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Them boys lukewarm right now.
Then on the whole $120 million, I said, look, the Raiders gave Derek Carr 5 years, $125 million. I said, Dak is a better player. I said, Freddie, you have to learn how the quarterback contracts work, baby. At minimum, the Cowboys will have to pay Dak $33 million in 2020 because that is what that franchise tag is going to be. Mm-hmm. I said, you and those hot takes. Now, look, if you look at what it would cost the Cowboys to franchise Dak Prescott over the next 2 years, it's going to average out to about $35 million. $35.5 million. So
why would he take? Why would he? All right, that makes no sense to me.
And so that's the part that we see on social media, as so many fans are mad at Dak Prescott because it was reported by Calvin Watkins of the Morning News that he turned down an average of $33 million a year. And fans are thinking, well, why do you turn down $33 million a year? And
because you're too short. That's why. Because you're too short per year.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
But I go back. This takes me back to Tank Lawrence when people were mad at Tank last year. Well, the Cowboys they're going to give him 18. The franchise tag going to be more than that. I'm sorry. Guys are going to look at, if you tagged me for 2 years, what is the average of that going to be? Mm-hmm. We need to start here. That's what these agents are doing.
Yes, and it makes sense.
Yeah.
And fans don't get it. So fans want to think that the players are the greediest son of a guns out there when you're just realizing if you're the player, even though you would prefer the security, if you can't get that, then you might as well play it out.
Might as well.
You might as well play it out.
Look at Kirk Cousins.
Because the teams, if they're smart, won't franchise a guy 2 years in a row. It doesn't help. It's a detriment if you're trying to run your team inside of the players.
Oh, yeah, it's killing
It's a detriment. But these fans don't get it. And so they're so mad at the player that I laugh when I just hear some of the stuff that's said about him. And
so let me ask you a question. Do you think the organizations put these numbers out there to kind of paint the player as being like this greedy guy so the fans will kind of get on him, and then next thing you know, he's like, he buckles under the pressure. He's like, I just want to be good for the fans.
Because that's what you say, because you don't see the agency.
You don't see the agency
unless they saying it, and they just disgusted with the fact that they will offer him something so low.
You don't see the agencies putting him out. I just wonder if that's, if I'm asking
who put out the 4 for 160?
Yeah, that's one. Yeah, who put that out?
Who put the 4 for 160?
I don't know. Look,
it looks like a lot.
Gotta get the real
first
numbers.
glance,
You gotta get them real numbers.
At first glance, it looks like a lot.
So you got people mad about Dak turning down 33, and then you get the "here's what we should do" crap. So what one of my frat brothers said. We should let Dak go, he says.
Man.
Go to Carolina, trade for Cam Newton.
Oh, man.
Let Cooper walk and re-sign Dez Bryant.
Who said this?
It's one of my frat brothers.
Bro, he was
man.
he was at a bar. Like he had to be at a bar. He had been there for a couple hours.
He living in 2014.
Yeah, probably a couple shots in. It's no way that he was trying to get you to respond.
No, this was his deal, and I said, okay.
We getting punked. We getting punked.
No disrespect, but you think Dez could be a number one receiver
with Cam Newton?
With Cam Newton coming off shoulder surgery?
His thing on Cam, he says, Cam never had any weapons in Carolina. He comes here, he has a whole lot of weapons. And I said to him, okay, let me make sure I put this straight.
Greg Olsen.
I said, do you realize Cam has been injured the last 2 seasons, and his own team has not committed to him next year?
That should make you realize something.
I said, we're talking about a quarterback whose best asset has been his legs and red zone ability, and you're talking about a guy with a shoulder trying to go in the red zone. I said, you really have to ask yourself, are you thinking of Cam Newton 15-1?
Yeah, that's what they think.
In the Super Bowl 50, or are you thinking of Cam Newton now? Because guys who play football know sooner or later the hits
they're gonna add up. He ain't gonna be able to get out of bounds one of those times.
We always talk about running backs having only so many hits in the body. If you're a quarterback that runs a lot and you run like Cam Newton, you only have so many hits in that body. And the question you have to ask right now is, how many of those hits have taken Cam down? Now, all those people who say Dak Prescott is not accurate, you want Cam Newton?
Exactly. Exactly.
How would you live for Cam Newton? I mean, so I laugh at this stuff. You want to bring in a dude, trade. Okay, what are you trading, by the way? You want to trade for a guy you don't know how good he's going to be, and then bring in Des Bryant.
And let Amari Cooper walk.
Who the last time we saw
his fat brother
had no chemistry with Dak Prescott. So if he had no chemistry with Dak Prescott, you think he was going to have some chemistry with Cam Newton?
Coming off of playing for 2 years? Both of them haven't really played in the past 2 years.
Listen, that is outrageous.
UNC Pembroke, huh?
That is straight up outrageous. Well,
this guy wasn't from New York. He wasn't from Alabama. He's just from Frederick.
Was he at least keeping Byron Jones? Was he keeping anybody? Did we get Robert Quinn? What else did we get? Did we get something else?
My man was really he's upset about Dak. So it was really a Dak-centric type of.
People just
okay. I don't understand why he's so mad that Dak wants his money. Okay, like he getting the leftovers.
Let me read it exactly. Okay, I was wrong on Cooper. He says, "Family, I think the Dallas Cowboys should let Dak walk if he doesn't sign the current contract. Trade him for Cam Newton, bring Dez back, get a tight end that can stretch the field, franchise Cooper, get a D-line, play smash-style football, feature the O-line and Zeke. Let's go to the Super Bowl."
He ain't been watching because we have a tight end that can stretch the field one.
Did he see the offensive line last year?
Yeah, I don't know. Listen, he was drinking. I'm telling you.
Yeah, he had a couple.
Something's going on.
He had a couple of them old fashions or something.
Something's going on. He punking you, Newy.
I'm gonna get on. I'm gonna get it. There ain't no way.
I'm gonna get him riled up.
That makes absolutely no sense.
So these are some of the things that I get on Twitter and trying to explain the quarterback market to people. So I bring up Matthew Stafford. Look, Matthew Stafford, when you all want to say Dak hasn't won anything, Matthew Stafford's won nothing. Matthew Stafford has made well over $200 million in his NFL career. Yeah. It comes down to, what does your franchise value you as? The Lions have valued Matthew Stafford as a franchise player who the centerpiece of what it is they want to do. Mm-hmm.
They value him.
So you can sit up here and say you don't think he's my boy Rob Parker. Rob Parker and I go back years. You see Rob Parker on FS1. He thinks Stafford's he's got a losing record against wings. He's down on him. Why are you paying this guy all this money? The Lions deemed him worthy of it.
They view him.
Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones have come out and said they want Dak Prescott here and that he's going to get a great payday. They've said this. So you can have your own opinions about it, but it comes down to, what does the franchise want? No different than if you sitting here and you marry a girl and your friends like, why are you marrying her? Well, guess what? I love her.
I love her. Yeah,
I love her. Well, it doesn't matter if you love her. I love her. And this is what it does come down to. How much do you love the player? That's why we keep seeing the quarterback markets reset. And I had another guy say, well, you know what? He shouldn't get more than Big Ben. He shouldn't get more than Russell Wilson because they won Super Bowls. And I said, under your premise, why is anybody making more than Tom Brady?
Exactly.
Who is better, Stafford or Jimmy G?
Stafford.
Oh, come on, Newy. Stafford is head and heels
hold on, you said
Jimmy G.
Jimmy G?
To me, they're really kind of the same dude.
How?
Jimmy G.
Bro,
Stafford's been going for 5. Whoa.
We just talked about Jimmy G and 11 completions.
11 completions, Jimmy G.
We saw him in the.
You're right.
What are we talking about here? Stafford is who's paid more?
Stafford.
Stafford overall?
Right
no, for this new one. For this new one.
Yeah, Jimmy G more.
So what? So the market.
Yeah, you know what? Stafford reset it. The Jimmy G top.
So that's the market. It's the market.
It's all about timing.
Essentially, it's not even really about who's better.
Well, and then the sense of yes, stay right there. The market and what do we know the market is going to continually do?
Right,
it's going up. So as it goes up, so the franchise tag on what quarterbacks had 3 and 4 years ago, which they were using in terms of how you market, how you do a deal. That's why it keeps going up. So everybody jumps everybody.
Everybody, yeah.
And what I do also kind of laugh about, because fans don't get it, if you're a player, this is what you want.
You don't want people to go below the market value.
Right. You don't
keep raising the bar.
Tom Brady has done nobody
no
any
service.
favors.
He has done no service to the rest of the league.
Tom Brady could not be a baseball player because the union will tell Church, you better go get this contract. I mean, they tell you that. Church, get that contract because we need other people to get this. I mean, when Alex Rodriguez wanted to get a deal done with the Boston Red Sox, the Rangers had traded him to Boston. Boston wanted him to defer some money. Alex wanted out of Texas so bad he was going to give some back. And the union they looked at it, they were like, no, you can't do it. The union cut down a contract that A-Rod and the Red Sox had agreed to restructure the contract.
You can't do it.
Like a baseball cut. They were took a football cut. They were trying to do it like a football cut. Let's restructure some money here. And the Players Association said no, and it blew up. So he had to come back to Texas. They eventually traded him to the New York Yankees. But that's how that thing works over there. You're not taking discounts over there. They don't want that at all. They frown upon it. I remember one baseball player who felt like he was pushed into signing a deal that he necessarily didn't want to because of the union. He did it, but he wasn't really happy about it. And just kind of said in his own way of, I kind of was told I needed to do this. And a union like that is strong. Yeah. You don't want people looking at you cross-eyed.
Yeah, you don't want that problems.
So.
But our union, though.
Do what you got to do, player.
We're getting all this money from TV and all that. Go ahead and take a little bit off the top, though. Let's lower it a little bit, even though our TV rating and all that's going up each and every year.
If the CBA's passed and the Cowboys only have one franchise tag and they give it to Dak Prescott, what is your worry level about Amari Cooper getting on the free agent market?
None. If they franchise Dak, they're paying Amari. Whoever,
I think he's gone.
I think whoever doesn't get tagged is getting paid.
I think if they tag Dak, I think somebody gonna outbid the boys for Amari Cooper. And that's only.
I don't think they will outbid them enough to get Cooper.
So let's just say the Cowboys come in at 20 and Buffalo comes in at 22. You think
he's not going to Buffalo?
He ain't going for the extra 2?
He gonna lose 2 in Texas. All
right, let's say 4 then. Let's say 24, and the boys give him 20.5.
Yeah, you talking about $4 million.
You got that's the only risk I think if somebody out. But if anybody comes in within a meal or 2, I think he'll stay just because of the off-the-field opportunities here. But
do you say he had an issue playing outside or something?
I mean, he had
in the cold and all that.
Issue on the road too.
So maybe on the road. So maybe I don't know about Buffalo. Why don't you use like New Orleans? New Orleans can't do it.
Oh, they can't do it. They got Mike Thomas.
They can't do it.
Who can afford to pay top notch for
Jacksonville?
The Dolphins.
Yeah, Dolphins too. Jacksonville. Indianapolis. It's cold, but they play indoors.
That's not what they do. So that's not what and that's the other thing too, is people try and throw out this stuff. It's like, ask yourself, what does this team do? For instance, when people talk about the Patriots, we can trade Dak to the Patriots. And I just shook my head like, what? That's one place that's not trying to pay anybody. What do we know about Dak Prescott? He's trying to get paid.
He's trying to get his bread.
So why are they going to trade you a first-round pick and
they've only paid one cat
and write a check?
You know who is looking for a receiver, and they looked for a receiver all last year? Philly and Seattle.
That's true.
You don't want to go play with Russell?
You know who I saw going up to Seattle on a visit? If he can get healthy, Jordan Reed, the tight end. If he can get healthy, you see how they use their tight ends up there. He could be nasty.
He got them concussions a little crazy.
You think he's done?
The concussions a little crazy.
He has been out for like 2 years.
Here's, and I just come back to this with you. What you talked about Seattle. You got DK Metcalf, who really came on at the end of last year. I mean, he's a matchup nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about the best of what Dez was. DK Metcalf is that now. And then they got Kevin Lockett.
Yeah.
So if you're Seattle, would you rather spend some resources on trying to get your offensive line straight?
That's true. That's a good point. They got a good, solid backfield.
Russell gonna be running around that thing anyways.
That's what he does.
They're allowed to be all right.
You could look at. I mean, hey, look, Cooper's gonna cost you $20 million.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How many franchises do it? I mean, Seattle hasn't traditionally tried to pay that position.
If I'm them, I'm trying to keep Clowney by all means. If that's my take on it. I try to keep Clowney.
Your defense needs to be what it is, but it was obvious last year that they wanted some help at the receiver position.
Oh yeah.
So to pay Cooper, you're pretty much talking about most teams that can afford a huge number to blow them away that the Cowboys can't compete with. It's going to be some teams that are bad.
Yeah, for sure.
Philly can come to them, but at the end of the day, do you want to live in Philadelphia
and play outside in that cold?
Right, is that what you want to do? You're a Miami guy. Is that what you want to do? Having lived in Miami, played Alabama, played in Oakland, I played for the Cowboys.
Yeah, I don't think you want those problems.
And a chemistry with the quarterback. So those are the things. Now look, at the end of the day, he may be bluffing us because he's not an easy guy to read. He can be bluffing us all day long. Just be Cuba Gooding Jr. playing Rod Tidwell and say, hey, show me the money. So we don't know where he goes. But,
that's true.
But the Cowboys, and it's going to be interesting. What do you have, 72 hours to try and nail a deal down with one of these two guys?
That's all they got left, huh?
He's going to go where he's wanted. I don't think he's leaving here. McCarthy has expressed how much he wants to do to be here.
That's true.
He's expressed how much he wants to be here, bluffing or not. I don't think it's.
But then that goes to.
I don't think it's going anywhere.
How are we going to Then it goes. If his numbers keep rising. Let's say they tag Dak, and then his numbers keep rising. Does that mean Quinn's up out of here? Does that mean
sure.
Quinn,
cats like that?
Because Quinn's numbers are going to be high.
Yeah.
General Lee, think he's going to be.
His numbers low.
See?
Quinn needs something for LV.
Yeah, that's true.
Because he got the neck.
That is
He got the neck thing. We talked about the neck thing during the season, and it's not that easy to come back from. He had neck surgery, then all of a sudden next year he'll be fine.
Who we played with? It was like first couple years. Hans Holloman.
Yeah.
Remember Hans Holloman? He had that neck, and he had to retire.
He had to retire.
That's nasty.
So it's interesting here. It is interesting. I would say this about someone of Amari Cooper's character and makeup. After you play for someone like Nick Saban, guys like that in terms of somebody who knows what they're doing. And if somebody's going to go out here and try and lure Amari Cooper away, I think you have to have a really good head coach.
Strong personality.
That's a detailed guy that he feels comfortable with. Mm-hmm. Now, obviously, he doesn't know Mike McCarthy. He can talk to him a little bit, but Mike McCarthy does have a resume of winning a Super Bowl. I think those things matter to someone like Amari Cooper, is winning. I mean,
he also has somebody who can vouch for him. Randall Cobb's here.
It's true.
So he can just straight up say, hey, man, this is
true. He knows his X's and O's. He knows what he got going. So,
and I'll say this, and this is just me. This is me. Having covered this team when Jimmy Johnson was head coach and, just seeing a lot of guys through the years, I can't name anyone who Jerry Jones has come out and told you, I want, that he didn't get.
That is true. That's his saying. That's what he said.
We have not seen people get away. We haven't. When he said, I want this guy, we have not seen them get away.
This is true.
And as crazy as 2020 has been so far, I don't think that's going to happen. Jerry's going to get his guys.
Yeah, he's going to get who he wants.
So at 77 years old, if you're going to write the check, you're going to write the check now.
Yeah, might as well. Ain't no reason to wait.
So, you hear a lot of these draft talks, cats was, hey, you can get Jerry Jeudy or you can get CeeDee. They talk about this. Rookie receivers, and you guys know being defenders.
Oh, yeah.
Rookie receivers have an adjustment in this league. It's not easy.
It's big-time adjustment. And it's unproven. You don't know what Amari Cooper is a proven commodity in this league. I mean, these, Jerry Jeudy's of the world knows they have had great college careers, but you never know until they actually hit the NFL pavement, what they can be. So would you rather go with proven commodity or,
Well, a shout out to Dez Bryant because he was one of those guys who came in and was an instant. He was one of those instant.
Returning punts. He was the beast.
So,
an outlier.
It's definitely rare to see somebody because we saw the guy Calvin Ridley. it took him a little while.
It took him a little while to get going.
And he was playing next to Julio Jones, so you weren't facing double coverage.
Exactly.
The kid that we thought the Cowboys could have taken, who ended up going to Carolina. And last year we started to see
a little
DJ
bit,
Moore. We started to see it. But it takes you some time. The Randy Moss effect where a guy just go come right out as a rookie, it's hard. That's another thing fans don't get all day long. It's hard to just come into this league and just start putting up stuff.
I mean, you got grown men out there.
They watch him in college and they're like, oh yeah, that's the NFL prototype.
Yeah,
and you're like, hey, listen, them guys he playing against, they getting paid big money not to get embarrassed like these college kids
take your head
right?
off. They will.
They're not paying no D2 schools on the off week. This is every week.
Or they're laying off you. They're not pressing on you. There's so many things. So
they're going to prove a point because they don't want to get embarrassed by no rookie.
In my lifetime, I think it was Dez, Odell Beckham. Mm-hmm. And I think that might have been. Julio. Julio came on the scene kind of strong, right?
Julio definitely did. AJ Green.
AJ came on strong. That's 4. I can't really name too many more.
It's not a big bucket of guys who came in and he was like, all right, he's a rookie.
And so when you start talking about those guys, most of those guys are top 15, they're top 12 wide receivers.
Yeah, that's true.
They're drafted very high, and the Cowboys are 17. So if you wanted to get one of these quote-unquote impact guys, you'd have to go up in the first round. But wide receivers, I did a thing about 2 years ago when I was doing NBC Sports Radio where they had 6 wide receivers taken in the first round. And I looked at the two drafts, and each really only produced one guy that ended up doing something when they took the 6. And this could be another year where they have a lot of wide receivers that could potentially go in the first. We could see 4 guys go in the first round.
Oh, yeah.
But it's a hard adjustment. But if you're the Cowboys and you think that you are close to a Super Bowl, Jerry Jones was talking Super Bowl last year. He was talking about this team going deep in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I don't think you're going to scrap and let an Amari Cooper get out the door over money, especially when you're going to lose Byron Jones. They're not just going to be sitting up here empty-handed. We're not going to see that's not the Cowboy way.
Nah, it ain't.
That's not how
you're going to see some splash.
Because we have a lot of possible losses. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people who could go to different teams.
This way,
yeah. So like I said, I'm not worried about Coop. I think he's still going to be here. Dak getting tagged, and then he'll get a deal worked out somewhere in the summer.
Do you think if he's tagged, do you think he shows up?
For 33, is it 33 million? What's the first tag?
Yeah, the exclusive tag will be about 33
I think he'll be here.
You think he'll show up for camp?
Yeah, for camp. Yeah, camp easy. He might miss the Hall of Fame game. he might miss the Hall of Fame game.
And hopefully this virus is contained by then.
There we go.
That's true.
Everybody is operating under the assumption that in the next couple weeks
we don't know.
We thinking everything's cool again. Look at that.
Don't fool yourself into thinking because everybody's like, and I heard people say, hey, man, listen, it's serious now because the big money people, they're losing money, so the cure is coming, because they don't want to shut this down because everybody's losing money. I said, huh? It's happening. All right? Yeah. So just brace yourself, be careful, wash your hands, do everything they said you're supposed to do, and if you're sick, do not go around other people.
Be courteous. So, since we have no sports, to each of you, what is a show somebody can binge on to watch?
Go ahead first. You can take that first.
Man, I just finished the Outsider last night, which was pretty dope.
You like that,
Stephen King. That was a good TV show. I'm doing Lock and Key.
You started Lock and Key?
Started Lock and Key. I'm telling you. If you go on Netflix, you can probably binge watch anything.
Yeah, Netflix it's been on fire. Amazon Prime as well. The Hunters. The Hunters. If you haven't watched that, Al Pacino. Jordan Peele was the director of that, I believe. It's 10
Hunters, you said?
The Hunters. Yeah. It's an amazing show. Jordan Peele directed it. It's about this group of Jews who survived the Holocaust years ago, and they're hunting down Nazis that came to America. It's a pretty cool. Okay. Yeah, it's a dope show. Like Danny said, The Outsider was pretty cool. I watched the whole thing. Stephen King, he never disappoints, especially when it comes to his books. So those are 2 shows I would definitely recommend.
I went and binged watched Season 4 of The Wire.
You went back on
again?
And then because I had watched Season 4, which I thought was the best of The Wire, then I got connected into Season 5. Like, oh yeah, how does wait a minute, what happens with Marlo Stansfield? So so I went back and just And then all these GIFs, like if you go and you look at the GIFs from The Wire, we see like Bunk goes like that, or Bunk just shakes his head and he walks away from McNulty. You oh yeah, that's that GIF right there. So I found myself watching 24 episodes of The Wire over 10 days.
Newy, you're supposed to be watching Sopranos, bro.
You're right.
Agreed to this.
Okay, and
long ago.
Okay, so what I did on my HBO account, I put it in there. You know how you can see, like, save it, you check it. So I checked it, and then I just went down and I saw The Wire, and then you
already know what happened to Marlo and Avon and Stringer. You know what happened. He watched it. He probably watched it. And was like, I hope Stringer makes a different decision this time. So he doesn't
choose option B.
Go that way.
You know, some of the things I forgot. I was like, oh yeah, they got a little Randy, didn't they? They had Randy. You know, the name never did cut that hair. So I mean, there was with Carcetti. So there's a couple things, and I forgot my man. I forgot how my man Clay Davis ended up getting off on that trial. You know,
let me tell you something. The one thing about The Wire that I wish would have happened differently, because I wanted to see this battle between Omar and Marlo.
Never got it.
And I'll say this: I forgot how Omar got killed.
Yes,
I forgot.
The man jumped out a 6-foot window. 6-story window and survived. And he soldiered it through.
So you think about how he did that, and then how he got in the end.
He had the juice.
The thing that I love about The Wire, tell me why I think it's the best cop show ever, is you truly didn't know how things would end, and then when things would end a certain, not really.
Because it was built. I was waiting. It was built up, and I was like, Omar, like, hey, he got a plan. You know, he gonna figure this out.
You thought Omar was gonna get away, man. I thought Omar was gonna make it. I
thought he was gonna see the battle between him and Marlo, because Marlo not backing down for nobody, and he was like, all right, what is do that? And then Omar's looking for him, so you see him.
Juice now.
He got the whistle going and all that.
And how clean at the end, how clean Marlo got.
Yeah.
He got that
clean. The rewatchability, man. That makes it great.
So I'm just saying, I know you guys have given me shows to watch. I got caught.
But you because saw also already.
It was, and I'll say this, it was a guy over the TV station who started watching The Wire because of his brother. And so I was like, well, you got to get to season 4 with the kids. I said, the one with the kids was the best one. I love that one. So talking to him talked me into, oh yeah, let me just and then he wanted to discuss it and talk about it. So I was watching, we're having discussion.
So are you going to watch The Sopranos? Because we'll see you next Friday.
I got right at that.
All right. They're gonna cut the music off.
Get the hunters going, man.
So I've got it written down, and it's in my queue.
You wrote it down months ago, but it's all right.
You're correct. This is true. This is true. I need to go ahead and dive into it. Hey, fellas, fun time as always. So the next time we do a show, we'll see. Is Cooper signed? Dak signed? Who's got a tag?
Who's back?
Is there a CBA? There's a lot of things we'll find out in the next edition of the Players Lounge. He's Danny McCray, it's Barry Church. I'm Newy Scruggs. We appreciate you joining us right here on DallasCowboys.com radio.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.